Hi, good morning. It's 17 minutes past 6 in Bonnie, Scotland here. Yes, I'm just starting. I'm on the second day of trying my Muse headband. Very impressed. I think it's a brilliant bit of technology. And if you're trying to develop mindfulness, it's excellent. I've done a course of mindfulness meditation. Used to go and see a lady in a church in Inverness, and quite a way for me to travel. Actually, I haven't got a car. I couldn't do that now, but over 30 miles away. But that was the highlight of my week. Um, just to sit in and learn and do. Hold on. Drop the ad stuff. No, this is. Ah. Well, my friend in Thailand, I know as Jap, which is an abbreviated term for chicken, little chicken. She's got a lot larger name, Kanjang or whatever, but that's what I know her from. Her putter cat, which is what I call cats, like I've got a pet name for dogs, woofter dogs. In fact, the dog we had I called Woofter. Lovely dog, and we got a female dog, and they bred and they had puppies. Um, but she was a rescue dog. He's a him actually. He was a rescue dog. We didn't know how old, obviously, and the vet could only guess, but it obviously wasn't a puppy, and he perhaps didn't have too many years ahead of him. But we gave him a lot of love, and he had a lovely life. We had this lovely little house in this separate enclosure, so he had his own patch, safe patch as well, lots of area to roam about, meet other people and whatever. And there were lots of people that adopted him as well. The landlady used to live in this same enclosed area. It wasn't totally enclosed, but it was off the main road. And like I say, he had lots of space to meet other animals, other people, and he did. He became very territorial, and that was his patch. In fact, there was an instance when a big black dog came in, and not didn't belong to any of the residents, and he stood up to this dog. Amazing, because they're equated with being guard dogs to the Tibetan monks. This breed of dog, the lion, they're like a little lion, and he was. I witnessed this myself. He just stood his ground and growled, and it freaked the dog out because it's just trying to be friendly. But Woofter was saying, no, this is space and you're not welcome here. His female companion stood by him as well, so there was two of them, but even so, an amazing feat of courage and protectiveness, because he'd sensed that the other residents weren't happy because obviously none of them owned him, and so that was Woofter. Needless to say, he did pass on after I'd left Thailand. Apparently got a stomach condition. Old Jack would just no expense spared, some other issues. Well, when we found him, or she found him, his hair and coat was all matted up. He'd just been living wild. And the story was that his previous owner was involved in a car accident. He survived, but obviously his owner didn't, and he just moved in because that was near where the accident happened. This Tai Chi kickboxing centre, and they sort of half adopted him. Obviously they fed him and made he didn't starve, but he didn't have the love and the care and attention that he needed, especially his coat, very shaggy coated dog, because well, they come from a cold climate, Tibet. So he had a bit of a hard time in Thailand. Admittedly, a lot of the time we used to take him to the beach, but not midday, but even so, it was hot, and he didn't handle that too well, and we had to get him back into the shade. But I used to take him, oh hi, hi, I used to take him out early in the morning, not long after the sun had risen, and take him down the beach then. And he was all right then, but once the sun had started to really come up, no way. So I imagine his previous owner kept him in a nice air-conditioned apartment. Again, so we really concentrated on taking Wolfie out on a lead, but to the park so he could meet other dogs and spread his horizons. So he's far from an indoor dog when we had him. He had free rein, and I'd often go out at crack of dawn with him and just take him for a walk locally. And also, like I say, I used to drive down to the beach with him as well. But bless him. So that was Woofers, my pet name for dogs, and Puttercats is my pet name for cats. So if ever I befriend a cat or a cat befriends me, you know, I do the meow, meow. They do understand, they can get your intention. And I've got a great affinity with cats. You know, they befriend me and sit on my leg and all the rest of it, and know that there's nothing to be feared. We're having hot temperatures. I mean, it's here still very early in the morning, and it's 23 degrees. I've checked my heating, that hasn't come on accidentally. That's overnight. So we're probably, it's probably quite clammy at the moment. We often get that, the clouds sort of are low, and it's, well, that's the only way to describe it, hot and clammy weather. But once the wind gets hold and the clouds are dispersed, then the air can circulate better. That's my way of explaining it. It's probably not exactly meteorological language, but that's roughly what's going on. Water shortage, we've even had that, although we've had some rain in the evenings recently. My throat, it's just like this most mornings, excuse me. It's not bad, but it is a bit of a thing, you know. And that's just probably through me be lying down and the phlegm's built up and all the rest of it. So I'm going to top up my water. Well, I don't know. I'm going to have a little moan. It's also a bit of thing for me. If anyone does see this video, please pass it on to the Bosnian Pyramid people. Nearly a year ago, I was surprised. And it can understand one getting wound up. Over a year ago, I contacted the Bosnian Pyramid community. There's a couple of sites. And asked them, could you please send me some Bosnian Pyramid water through the post, obviously pay. And did get a response, but it wasn't a very impressive response. No, we don't send the water through the post. You'll have to come here to get some. Now, at the time, like I say, this is in September 2017, I thought, okay, but not too brilliant. I have discovered I've written another attempt to say, you know, I'd like some water, and, you know, so some way that it can be posted to me. and I'll obviously pay. And that was indicating that there's some kind of restriction, and I got a bit more substance to the reply. Some people had tried to set up a distribution thing in England, because funny enough, England is one of the countries, and I can understand why, because Bosnia is part of mainland Europe. For most people, it's a lot more accessible if they're from mainland Europe, a car. And so they have to go off for a long weekend or whatever, and they drive there and what have you. But if you're from England, you've got to cross that water, and generally you'd have to fly and whatever. Plus the fact, so this is something for people in the Bosnian to consider. I can buy water from Lords, no problem, and rightly so. They don't say, oh no, people, I'm not saying the Bosnian Pyramid people are saying this, and there probably is legitimate reasons why the water cannot be sent through the post. But I'm beginning to think this isn't the case. I've got on my shrine Ganges water. See, it's the same high. So I mean, it's the same analogy in my mind. Yes, you've got access to some sacred holy water that can benefit and heal the planet and heal people. They don't turn round to people and say, well, you've got to come up to the Ganges in India to get it. All right. Nonsense. I can get water from Lords, Glastonbury, which I've got. Of course they send it through the post. They're not on some whether they are trip. This is our PowerPoint, is it? Oh, I don't know about that, kiddies. No one owns the Bosnian pyramids, and if it was built by extraterrestrials or a superior evolved humanity, if that's the right term, it was left for all of our benefit and for the benefit of the planet. That's how I see it. I do realise that, yes, it does and will have immense personal healing capacities. But then we use the analogy of Lords. So's that. But they set up and realise and do that, and it isn't a rip-off. I mean, I got a bottle from Lords Vet, and on eBay, quite a few suppliers are putting it. My water from the Ganges. I may as well show you that. I thought it was a video. But this is under the pyramid. I shared about this actually. Purest Ganja Jal. So it comes right from the source as far as it can be in the Himalayas, right? That's never been used, but the aura of that, yeah, beneficial for all diseases. Use it every day, make it a habit, right? 80,000 odd feet and all the rest. So that's come a lot further than Bosnia. And that goes right next to my water supply under the pyramid. Now, we all understand that everything has an aura. So it is affecting all the other waters and vice versa. I've shown this, but I'll just filter to this. There's my nice little bottle of water from Lords. Guaranteed original, right? No trouble getting that. No restriction of... So I don't know what this legislation is. Can someone please, not being sarcastic, enlighten me? Because funny enough, we're going through a big thing of leaving the European Union, and this is the sort of bullshit we're leaving because. Now, if people have made restrictive regulations about the distribution of Bosnian Pyramid water. Now, I said this is going to be a negative one, but it's the cutting word coming through. Then we, the responsible citizens of this planet, we need to do something about that. Why? Because it's our planet that possibly and potentially does need this water distributing to it. And that's not going to happen, sorry, it might be negative, through tourists who might come, might purchase a small bottle of water, and you can bet your last dollar that it's gone by the time they get home for their own personal use. But what I'm talking about is something totally different. The far wider, broader implication. And that's probably what one of my, how can I put it, jobs to do is. You know, I mean, some people are like, why don't you just go to Bosnia? Could do. It's not going to solve that problem, though. Well, it could, to a degree. Because the way I've been working, I have set up a system where it can be expanded. So a little 100 ml bottle of Bosnian Pyramid water is then added to a larger reservoir under a pyramid, and it'll be a constant generation of that water. Because we're talking about the homeopathic principle here. The energy field emitted by that water. And there's been scientific research now done of a similar vein. DNA has been transferred from one water sample to another, and the sample that transferred it was sterilised distilled water. So it had been boiled, and there is no chance of it naturally, in inverted commas, exclamation mark, having, if you like, minute life forms in it. The boiling alone would destroy or kill any life form in it. But it's been found with research that another phial of water put opposite or near, and it's been transferred. Actual DNA has been transferred. Actual minute life forms have started to form in this distilled water. Everything comes from water. People might be, what are you going on about water for? Where? We all come from water. We all are water. It is very significant. And that's probably my little message. No, I don't want to skip-tail it and hightail it and go to Bosnia. And go there, like I've shared, you know, maybe once a year or whatever, but not treat it as some, you know, how can I put it, politely. Yes, it might be a special place. And yes, I might have to do that. But I think there's another side to this, and that side is, it's the planet that needs the Bosnian Pyramid water. And that planet is all of ours. We are all responsible for the planet. And maybe planetary healing is a mantra we need to adopt. Yeah, planetary healing. And there might be other avenues, but as far as I can see, healing and restoring, blessing the water is a good place to start. Might be other viewpoints come forward, great. I'm sure a lot of indigenous, if that's correct, tribes have their own planetary blessing rituals, rain dance, all the rest of it. Yeah, part of their culture. The Aborigines, I'm sure, have certain rituals they do. But we all know that looking at the state of the world that it's in, that obviously isn't being too effective. Because we have got a polluted planet. We have got a polluted soil. And we have got a polluted water. So if the water under the Bosnian Pyramids is extra special because of the 30,000 times thing, because of the pyramid, I don't think it's the only pyramid that's going to be discovered with water under it. And hopefully that will be the case. But at the moment it's one of the few that has been discovered. And at the moment, I'm not too impressed. Maybe I've got the wrong end of the stick. Again, being so, please enlighten me of what is going on at Bosnia. What is happening about the water being distributed? If they can do it at Lourdes, if they can do it from the Ganges, they obviously realise the significance of this. All very available and accessible through eBay. You can get Glastonbury well water, which isn't such obviously massive supply, but you can get a little, you get a little glass bottle like this on a thing, and that's on my altar. I've even got a new innovation, CBD, which is an active healing constituent of cannabis, CBD oil, which has been added to water using nanotechnology. I believe it's about 80. I'll bring that in as well. So this is going to be a short one. There you go. CBD living water. Didn't sell a lot. I got it at a reduced price. In fact, I think I got 4. I've used them. It's the last one. But this is using 2 technologies. An ancient technology of cannabis being turned away from the mic, not very professional, but anyway, a universal panaceic medicinal compound. Well, all right. Bit early in the morning for that sort of language, but yes. And we all know that's happening. It's another driving factor of my thing. I've got 2 tattoos. I won't go into that, but either shoulder. One is a bona fide Thai police tattoo. In fact, I'm going to do that, you know. So those of you who are shocked by it's only my top flesh, I'm not naked, this isn't a big sex thing, but it's to prove a point. The only 2 tattoos, right, one on each shoulder, are these. Alright? It's not probably brilliant. I'm going to have to, because you get all this thing of reversing, right? Now that is legalise it, the Om symbol, and a cannabis leaf. And that was given me, I helped design it in Thailand. Right? So these are the only 2 tattoos I have. Now this, you could say, is something counter opposite. You can see it's the Garuda, and it's actually what the Thai people believe that their king is, a reincarnated spiritual being. Now that might not be exactly as Thai people would describe it, but the significance is that it's all in Thai as well, the mantras. The Royal Thai Police. And when I went to the tattoo shop, I know it's an ugly body, but there you go. Most of us, yeah. Just put my shirt back on. Sorry about it. Like I say, I was going to jokingly say you can turn away, but you can edit that bit out or whatever. But it's to make a point. And there's something as well about showing your body, not all of it, but the aura changes. It's as simple as that. That is me, and that's me Flower Life pendant with crystals in it. Now look, talking through the shirt, I'm sure it comes through perfectly well actually. It's a brilliant little system. Gives them Apple computers. You'll be a salesman. Well, it is true. One looks into things and people get paid money for doing that, just endorsing. Oh yeah. In fact, on that note, positive note, I've got an XS mini iPad. I've upgraded it. It's got just show this because I'm running well under time. It's not only half an hour. I mean, an hour is normal. Upgraded it with a keyboard through my own usage. Realised, brilliant camera, but more importantly, brilliant video communication device. Some of these phones, you see, it's of a bigger size. So you've got a far decent dimensions, sort of change the word, for video work. It's got the power, you can do the digiting if you're into texting, which I'm not. And more importantly, I feel Apple has its own system, very similar. It's called FaceTime, but it's its own system. Anybody anywhere in the world, you only need to get their email address and that, and you can video talk to them far better quality than Facebook at times because of just supply and demand. I have a lot of trouble instances, but it's just the network. People in the Philippines, very iffy, signal comes and goes. Obviously, not so developed countries. Africa and all this sort of thing. Generally on Facebook, not so good. You can record a video and that works. Do a quick recording and then send that. But actually for live, whatever. I have just been contacted by a friend in Thailand. She's we were partners, so there's friends and people you live together with, partners, and we were like a married couple. And I adopted her daughter, who the actual father, okay, just left. So she's risen. So she's brought up, it's a Freudian slip, brought up this child, name's Ploy, on her own. And our paths are brought together. She works as a masseur, but she's getting on now. But anyway, and I said to her, and she understands, I'm not her father, I'm not some father that's returned and whatever, no. But I said I'd like, if you're up to it, I'll be your godfather. Probably a bit of a twist on that, but I'm a lay Baptist priest, so Christianity is certainly part of my makeup, very much so. And that's the role I've taken. She's at that age, 15, 16, maybe even 17 now. She's blossoming out into a beautiful young lady. But I gave her an iPad actually. I've already given her an iPad. This is years ago. And she loves that, and she's into photography, and she's very artistic. She's got a lot of ability there if it's developed. But she suddenly got into, we're going round the circle now, so well, into cats. There you go. We are going round the circle stuff, yeah. And she's got literally a cat sanctuary in her home. Got over 10 cats. Does work, but very little time, and she works, funny enough, on the internet, but it's not too well paid. Apparently she goes and reviews nightclubs and restaurants, and people just like her attitude, and she's honest. You know, if she thinks it's crap, it's crap. So, where? But she's got a following and what, but it still isn't, that's Thailand for you. I mean, you could say that's quite a glamorous job, but no, I mean, she does, her mother said no, she still doesn't earn enough, and that she's got behind in her scooter payments and all the rest of it. So I suggest, it's only just recently we've connected up, and we go around the circle again. I think I've shared about that, but a cat, this is Jap's cat, she only's got one, but got hit by a motorbike, so that's an ongoing thing, but it's okay. She sent us little videos, looks to be perfectly okay, happily eating this food, and it's not damage, but it's obviously a shock, you know what I mean? And probably, well, it's good. He or she, because you couldn't tell whether it's a he or she, will stay away from roads. Well, certainly that road, you know, it's right near where she lives. So probably a blessing in disguise, because the traffic in Thailand can be a bit erratic, whatever, people driving down the wrong side of the road. Oh, it's just Mickey Mouse there. Kids of about 9 or even younger driving around on scooters. Well, all right, you do have to have your wits about you. So I found out, I'm an old plodder. I like cruising, so I'm not a speed freak, and I'm not into overtaking everybody on the road and all this traffic shite that people get into, right? You know, ripping the engines, waiting for the lights to change, right? Right, I was going to swear, but whatever. So, I'm going to send that one to the mother, that's Jap. Well, because she's just got, you shouldn't say, well, why not a tablet, but it's not an Apple, so it's not an iPad. And she knows, because I used to have iPads there. Well, I said the first time I went to Thailand, I took about 3 with me and gave one to her daughter, or my goddaughter, and she really got into the photographic side of it. She's got incredible potential that side, just using it as a camera, because you see exactly the image that's going to be taken. Well, that's the beauty of it, you know, it's the ultimate in well, a conventional camera does have a disc, but it's not the same as actually seeing it. You follow me, the full size. You really can box your subject thing. It doesn't have a zoom, although that's coming, and you can get zoom lenses for iPads now. So you have that advantage. That's what I'm saying. You can actually box your subject, so that makes it a far more creative tool than just the old cameras where you just point and shoot, which you mainly get in phones. They're just pot luck. You know, they've got one focal length lens and that's it. Good for snapshots, but not really for much creative. Although that's changing, so I've been told, which it is. They're developing their focus, but hence you can pay such ridiculous, my keep device, ridiculous prices for a small phone, because you're paying for the miniaturization of the technology. But my final argument would be that the iPad's far superior. Again, look at the size of that's a mini iPad. Far better for photography work or whatever than these little phones. Of course it isn't, but it's brilliant for free video talking, which is the next step up to having a phone, and you've just got to have a Wi-Fi point, and you've got cafes. So they're incredible technology, and still being, and that's how I am here on Facebook. I don't text much. I used to send people when inspired, and I've still got about 2,000 of these designs, healing mandalas, which of course can be used again and again and again. And I used to just send them to people as a gesture of friendship, and generally got a very positive response. People weren't bothered that I wasn't into chatting them up or trying to date them, because they lived halfway around the world anyway. So it's a nonsense, a no-goer, no non-starter. And that wasn't my emphasis on making contact with them. It was just linking in on perhaps a spiritual level, or an etheric level, or an astral level. However your reality map, being sarcastic, new age thing, is, yeah, if you believe you've got an astral body, then yeah, you can connect with people on that level. If you believe you've got an etheric body, yeah, it's something you share. The planet's got an etheric body. See? Yeah, the planet has an etheric body. So, circle, yeah. The Bosnian Pyramid water isn't a physical thing. I mean, it is. I mean, you could analyse the water from the Bosnian Pyramids, and I'm sure you'd find lots of interesting correlatives, if that's the right word, because after 30,000 years, every mineral of the soil would have been dissolved into it. Gold, silver, diamonds, or whatever. Crystals, whatever. But it's the actual etheric energy of the Bosnian Pyramid water that can be duplicated, used, and multiplied. This technology's been around for years. That's what homeopathic medicine is. The whole theory behind that is it's the energy signature of the substance that you're making the remedy from. So a very good homeopathic remedy would have not one single atom in it of the substance that is initially made from. Hence you can use poisons to make a homeopathic medicine. So in my mind, taking some Bosnian Pyramid water, putting it under a pyramid, blessing it, adding it to other waters and exposing it to the energy of those waters, i.e. Ganges water, Lourdes water, Glastonbury well water, which are quite easily to obtain on eBay, sacred water, whatever, and there are people that are working in this level and are not rip-off artists. Go back to my point, the water from Lourdes, beautifully packaged, and they're making a minimal profit, if that. They've got to cover the cost. The water from the Ganges. Yes, it's packaged in a plastic, I'm with that. The packaging is, it's not an expensive glass bottle, but I've had that years and that's perfectly okay. It's environmentally friendly plastic, so it will actually dissolve. So if I can get water from the Ganges, and right from the source, it's probably from ice or whatever, and again the people, most sacred water, I mean people, Hindu people would use that in their rituals, for instance. when I've got one of them, a Shiva stone, and part of the ritual is that you wash the stone and bathe the stone, and it can be milk, Ganges water, whatever, and that's part of their offering to Shiva, but also back to the planet. That certainly has planetary healing dimensions to it. And that the so-called primitive Hindu people, again I'm being sarcastic, no, that knowledge has come down and been passed down. And admittedly, a lot of our present day Hindu philosophers might not have that particular viewpoint on it, that it purely is to them a devotional thing to Shiva. But nothing is just as it appears, or as it's presented on the surface level. Many different dimensions to all these rituals, and that people will know that their karma is definitely transmuted by doing this, and that's why they do it. These various elaborate rituals, festivals, and that it's spread. Well, you can see some brilliant, it must be the season's times, there's some brilliant live video footage on Facebook of the various Shiva rituals that are going on. And of course, if you just witness that, so it's live in India, but you just happen to tune in when it's actually happening, you're obviously going to get quite a bit of blessing from it. And if you touch into it later, you're going to get a blessing from it. Because in reality, there is no time, there's no past, there's no present, and there's no future. It all just is. So you link into anything with the right attitude and openness, you will benefit from that ritual. And of course, if you actively do something like that, which is what I'm trying to, I'm looking at the time, instigate people to get out there and spread this pyramid water come technology, because the both are combined. We've now, it doesn't take anything to set up a pyramid anywhere. It's the shape that matters, and it's the energy. It's just orientating it north, and you have created a small planetary power point, which you can then use to transmute and change anything you like. Water obviously comes to mind, being a universal substance which has many applications: washing, cleaning, drinking, applying to it, all the rest of it. And in changing that water, you are doing a planetary service. And in distributing that water, you're doing a planetary service. And so many people, obviously these are the people that this might reach or is applicable for, lead a lifestyle that entails they travel around a lot. They make their livelihood from a computer, so they're constantly on the net. They can link in to people and things all over the world. And they generally, because they travel a lot, can physically visit these places. It seems to be a pathway I'm following. I had this channeling many years ago. I shared this with the Findorn Foundation. Whether that matters or not, but it does. It's on record. I used to channel a lot. I don't now. Or maybe I do, but it's a different way. This is very poetic, you know. This is one thing that I feel signifies my life and is talking about me and others, hopefully. For a mobile PowerPoint is he. triangulating to shower. Sirius is light, Sirius is power. So come, you budding wizards of the light, come, join me in the fight. Help me put the darkness into oblivion. Help me found the kingdom, Sirius living. I've since learned many things about that, but apparently Tolkien even used the exact same word, Sirius living. It's not so far out now because of all this stuff from star seeds and all the rest of it. And even our songs in the 60s, we are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get back to the garden. Woodstock. So all these things have been planted in our subconscious mind, which incidentally takes in everything. And at an appropriate time, it can release it back out again if it has a significance. But our brains, just like water, store everything that we experience and come into contact with. Whether that's whole systems of knowledge, I believe it's possible, as I've recently done, to buy a whole set of the Zohar, which is 24 volumes, and just wouldn't have the time to actually physically read it. But one of the significances of the Zohar, and anyone who knows about this, their system of reading the Zohar is called scanning. And you read or scan from left to right. So generally a good edition of, I've got to do that now, a good edition of the Zohar has an English translation, which you can read with the everyday mind if you like, or the original text that the Zohar was written in. And they believe that by scanning this text, you're taking in all that information on the subconscious level. The symbols are universal. And your mind has no conscious recognition of what you've just read, although you can see that by seeing the English Oh, I've got to do that. It's easy. I'm actually running ahead. This is just volume 2. Get it right. Volume 2 of the Zohar. Beautiful book. The first ever unabridged English translation and commentary. Right, and there you can see there's the English and the other language. I'll open it up anywhere, because it's just to make the point. No, I won't be able to see. I will. I've got to get it focused though. I'm going to do this. There. So you can see there an English translation and then the original language translation. So in reading this, you would set, as I did in Elgin Library, set it up in one of these book stands, because you need that, you have your hands through there. Brilliant thing, because actually hold the book in there. And then you can just unhook it quickly, boom, scan. See? So it's written back to front in some senses, yeah. Because like I say, it's written from left to right. And yeah, there's your tree of life I've just opened up to, which many people will be familiar with this knowledge. So that is just stacked with information, knowledge, call it what you will. But I'm working on the theory, it's how we do it for time, yeah. Empaths I've shared this with a few people. Some people think you're off your head, but others are open to that idea. Same analogy. You can scan something with your eyes and you're not consciously interpreting it. Although there's an English translation again if you want to do that as well, because like that some people do that with the Bible, just intuitively pick a volume and open it and whatever. Why not? Works for me, and it can work. And if you did that with a pendulum, be very effective. What do I need to read in the Zohar today? Take your pendulum. You've just got number 1 to 24 on a sheet, which is how you use a pendulum. They're just sheets. And in seconds, you just run your finger down. Is it this volume? You can even split with your sheets, so you could have 100 bits of information, but then split that into 10 groupings. You follow me? So you go down 10 possible groupings. Is it in this grouping? And you'll get a positive response. So then you've limited it down to 10 in seconds. Then you just go down to 10. Is it this or is this? And you can use that technology for diagnosis. This again, a lot of people don't like, because it's bringing, which it should be, the arcane, secret, esoteric knowledge to the people. Anybody can use a pendulum. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Anybody. You attune yourself to the pendulum. There are courses you can do online. There's not a lot to it. There is. I mean, it's like anything can go really far, but it's just the developing of the sheets. If you like, it's the mind bit and the bit that you have to do if you're wanting to set yourself up as a healer and for diagnosis. But there's a lot of really brilliantly produced sheets. Save you a lot of time and work. You can go through things of, is this person's ailment linked to this, and this? Either various organs of the body, various chakras, if that's your way. But in a very short period of time, you can diagnose that person's needs. And it helps them intellectually. Oh, well, it is my kidneys, actually. Oh, yeah, and I have got, because from this diagnosis, you can relay back to them. And some of it, obviously, they're not consciously aware of. And so there's a matter of faith. Well, this is clearly indicating that you've got this situation that needs to be balanced out or whatever, or neutralised or whatever. And that comes down to then your physical dispensation of your remedy. Your remedy, it's based on water. Purified water of the nth degree, based on, shall we say, Bosnian Pyramid water, based on it. And then you, through diagnosis, are inspired to incorporate certain energies into that water by blessing, prayer, outward blessing, by incorporating crystals, because you can have a chart for that. Which crystals will benefit this person? But as you do this, you'll learn it, but you still do that. You rely. I went to a naturopathic doctor. Been practicing for years, got a brilliant reputation, but methodically practices this ritual, i.e. of using a pendulum to finally diagnose down the appropriate remedy for that person. Because it could be 5 or 6 different things. Sometimes it is 2 or 3. You get a yes for that. yes to that, and so they combine the three or whatever. And that's what I did, and I got some sugar pills which had been blessed with this particular remedy. Homeopathic medicine generally comes in just little white pills that have got that strength and that particular remedy, although it isn't a physical substance. But I mean, if homeopathic medicine is good enough for the Queen, in the royal, it's good enough for me. Right? Very cheap. And needless to say, you make your own. And this is what is. There's a resistance to this. For many people, any new discovery can become the latest thing. Now, I've got to share this thing. You can now get Pyramid Water Aura Spray. What a load of... At 20 quid a bottle or some ridiculous price. Exploiting technology. Do you think the ancients went to all the trouble of building the pyramids, giving us this technology, for someone to come along and commercialise it? I think we've got a case of the Jesus throwing the money lenders out the temple. This sort of nonsense has got to stop. You know, comes another new age, middle class or whatever, various labels will fit this. Exploitation of the masses. Quite frankly, to me, any healer who claims to be working on a spiritual impetus must incorporate into their practice planetary healing. And in that context, you don't go to the planet and charge the planet for the medicine you're trying to administer to it. Of course you don't. We are obliged to rectify the damage that we collectively as humanity have done to the planet. And I would put that same analogy to people. Yes, there are some people who've got the right approach. Donation, well, I've got to live, right, donation only. Full stop. And if you can't make your way on that practice, maybe you should get a job. Plenty of toilet cleaners needed. No, I'm being sarcastic, yeah. Because people who abuse this technology, people who take it and try and own it and commercialise it, restrict it, karma will be incurred. Don't need to be a guru, enlightened saint to know that. That's common sense. What comes around goes around. If, hypothetically, you are stopping a medicine or a technology from being spread by putting your own commercial interests before the planet's needs, and that isn't one of your major considerations when these rules and regulations are being made, if that is the reason, then yeah, you certainly will incur karma. And this could be the reason that we suddenly had a massive upsurge of planetary disruption, volcanoes erupting. It's like, we've been given the knowledge, we've been given the technology, and still we exploit it for our own personal ego enhancement gain. Now this is all cutting wordish, but I'm going to end on a positive note. It is nearly an hour. Anybody who sees this, who knows anybody who's got some Bosnian Pyramid water, I would very much appreciate if you can contact me. That's Graham Clark, although you know that from the video. I have got an email address which I can share because it's no problem. That's ghampa, ghampa77 @gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I will reimburse you any costs that you have incurred, and obviously that would include any postage costs as whatever. And obviously if you email me, just put Bosnian Pyramid water in the thing, I'll get back to you. All I want to do with that water is start to heal the planet, to make like a homeopathic type medicine. We have all these people that have done their flower remedies and all the rest of it. I'm sure I'd have no trouble for those that are open and want to try something new. Pyramid blessed water. Donation only. Instruction on how you can make, very simply, set up a generating facility from that one sample. I mean, you can learn this online as well, how to make your own homeopathic medicines. You have to outlay on some technology. It's actually quite mind-blowing because the more diluted the remedy is, see, it's not working on the physical dimension, the more effective it can be. And all this again can be done by pendulum, Freudian slip that. Should just be 1 times, 2 times, 10 times or whatever, make thing, pendulum can do that. There's some brilliant teachers who've been doing this for quite a few years, who can set your mind at ease. I've done a course, yes, and I just do it, demonstrate it, yes. But there are people who spent years doing this and just whack it in your browser. Pendulum healing. I could share a name, but for some reason it's not come to mind. But then, seeking you shall find. Just put pendulum healing and you'll find quite a few teachers. The one I studied under, very reasonable, all done by video, online, again, around the, so you don't have to travel hundreds of miles. We have the technology, and that makes it more accessible. If I have to go to East Cumbria to attend this elaborate workshop, that's going to cost hundreds of pounds just for the hotel expense, that's not quite making it available to everybody. But if I can go online and the man has produced a session of educational videos, which I can, through the cost of signing up to his course, have direct access to him via email, but you know, if there's something I just don't grasp or thing, you do have that facility as well at a far more reasonable cost, and making it also to do in your own time and your own convenience. You haven't got hundreds of pounds to go to a hotel. I haven't got hundreds of pounds just on principle to go and visit a place to pick up some water. and maybe come another time. But my priorities are to get this healing ministry moving, and I just need some Bosnian Pyramid water, and I just need someone to just respond. And so actually I've got some access, and sell it to me at cost. Whatever it costs you, I'll reimburse. So I hope this is going to bear fruit. This will be directed to various individuals, organisations, to do with pyramids, and we'll see if, the message gets through and I get the response I'm needing. Thanks for those that have joined us. Not many. It is early in the morning, and it's time I've got to go and get ready to do the ordinary life things we need to do. Got to feed the birds, make breakfast. So on that note, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.